chocolate TP2.com. Classic. Classic. Yeah. Everybody knows it's such a masterpiece. Like, what was going on at that time we started putting that record together?
At that time, I was very depressed, So what I did is, if you guys noticed the picture, I went and hired a trainer because I was pissed and everything. So I went and hired a trainer, got in the gym.
Start boxing and stuff, right?
Yeah, I started doing the boxing and lifting and doing a lot of stuff. So I kind of got ripped up for that particular album. And then once I got ripped up, I went into doing TP2.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I Wish is on there, obviously.
Yeah.
And speaking, like, I Wish, I saw something you saying that Pac was an influence in that record, right? I Wish record.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I Wish record is
Even though he had passed a little earlier, but like that was the idea you had for a while?
Absolutely, because I met Pac out in L.A., at the Hotel Negro, as a matter of fact. And when we got out there, the Hotel Negro. Yeah, so we got out there, we met, and I told Pac, I said, man, I got an idea, man. We should do the best of both worlds, man. Rap, R&B. That was actually the first supposed to be best of both worlds situation. And the first song I wrote was I Wish. And if you listen to the flow on there, I was writing in a Tupac type of flow, because he would have been like, rolling through the hood, just stop by to say what's up. Let you know your baby boy ain't doing so tough. And even though your past going on 4 long years, still waking up late at night crying tears. Thinking about those days you used to talk to me, smiling while I'm sipping on this Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the Tupac flow. So yeah, man, but unfortunately he passed, and and then I met Jay, and then we just went on from there. He heard the song "Still My Nigga," and we ended up talking about the
remix.
Exactly, and that was the starting of it, the Fiesta.
Yeah. Were you disappointed that didn't work out, the best of both worlds situation?
Oh, well, absolutely. I was disappointed, but, things happen, and, it happened for a reason, because the day after I'd done that tour, I went home. I mean, the day after that tour ended, I went home, and I started messing with the piano, and I was just pissed, things went the way it went, and I'm messing with the piano, and I started doing do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm like, what the hell is this? So Trapped in the Closet came that next night after I got home.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Before we get to that though, I mean, you made Chocolate Factory after TP2.com.
Yeah.
And a lot of your detractors, a lot of things were going on at the time, and it feels like when you made the Ignition remix, there was something magical about it that it was undeniable. Like, did you feel that at the time when you made that record?
I did, man. I just, it made you forget what the original even went like. I did the original, and then next thing you know, I put that little end piece on the end, because that's just the way I heard it. I wanted to do something different. It's the remix to Ignition on the end of that. So, but it was just a little piece for the song to fade. But everybody that I played it for was like, man, what's that little end on that end piece, man? That's cold. Turn that back up. Why it go down? I'm like, no, it's fading. It's fading. That's how it goes. That's the song fade after 4 minutes. So, So next thing you know, man, it got so crazy. People started saying, turn that part up, turn that part up. I said, man, let me go on and finish that, because, it's hot, So when I finished it, it just took on a life of its own, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of Chi-Town, you had Step in the Name of Love on there. You went to like that direction of really paying homage to like Chi-Town, the step-in tradition. Like, why was that the right time to really pay homage? I'm sure that was something you was aware of for a while. Like, why did that feel right at that time to make that record?
Well, at the time, my play uncle, would come to the studio. Yeah, I got a lot of play uncles. Would come to the studio.
Uncle.
Yeah. And we drink, he smoke, and, we would, have fun and stuff like that. And then he said, man, you ain't done shit unless you do a stepper record. He one of them type of uncles. Step that's class. You do a steppers record, man. You ain't done shit until you do that. And I grew up stepping with my other uncles, my stepfather, and I had a lot of things. But I started doing all of that stuff, and I knew it was in me. That spirit was in me, and so I challenged him. I said, man, you come back here tomorrow, and I do a stepper song just like that. I know the steppers 4/4 beat, And he left when they left the studio and came back the next day. I had Step in the Name of Love, just ready to proving it to him that I could do a steppers record, So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
And from there, it went on to Happy People and all other stuff. So.
Yeah, because it shaped the next album, right? Happy People, You Save Me. You went all the way in with that? Why did that feel right at the time? Because that was another double album and like, you know, had that kind of feel good vibe, but more of a departure. No rap features, you know, as strongly as you connected to hip hop culture. That was kind of the first album where you went totally in a new direction in terms of just keeping it sounding that way.
Well, it surprised me because when I did Step in the Name of Love and I started doing other things, the older generation, you know, started taking to me even in another way. And I was like, wow, that's a whole nother thing right over here. So, you know, I didn't know I had that in me where I could, the younger generation and my age and older. So I was like, wow, this is working. So I can do this music. Let me go on and do a little bit of this, you know, because it's legacy music. This music never dies. This music will be around. I said, man, I could be like Sam Cooke, because you put Sam Cooke and Jackie Wilson them on right now, we all gonna get the party. And so I want to be like that. You know, so those are the type of songs I felt that would set up my legacy, you know, for you know, that forever music, you know.
Yeah. And no, you did TPV before that, but that reminds me of Love Letter, because like with Love Letter, I had read that was inspired by a party that you threw at your home, right? To create
Love Letter.
The inspiration that you could pull this kind of album off to get the confidence that.
Absolutely.
Right.
I did a Christmas party at my home where I set my stage and built the stage and turned my house into like the Copacabana look, you know, and had a catwalk and everything, had tap dancers and, you know, and other singers too. And I opened the show up with a Sam Cooke show where I did like 7 songs. Wasn't no R. Kelly, it was just all Sam Cooke songs. And the people took to it. It was like about 1,500 people in my living room, and it was juking, you know, and they took to the party so well, and I felt so good singing that kind of music. I said, man, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do a whole album like this, you know. And the first song I wrote from that was When a Woman Loves.
Yeah, I mean, before that was the TP3, like you said, with the trap thing, the whole Trapped in the Closet thing. It's become its own brand, its own franchise, like it's its own thing, like. Again, you had like sort of like opera elements, certain like theatrical elements to your music. Like, what made that feel right that came together and was like Trapped in the Closet, like the situation came together?
Well, believe it or not, man, growing up with my mom, I used to watch the old Elvis movies, you know, and Elvis, you know, he would sing in a lot of his movies, and I was like, wow, he's singing, you know, but he would be singing it, but it would be a story. And then when I met Lena McLean, you know, she taught me to write plays. She had us writing plays in school and things like that. So when I grew up, as far as my music and everything, and then I got my deal, I started incorporating some of the stuff that inspired me when I was a kid, or Lena McLean taught me, into my music. And I guess it gave it its own style, you know what I'm saying? Like doing operas and things like that. I used to sing opera. I know opera, it goes, Alma del core, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò, t'adorerò, t'adorerò. Alma del core, spirito dell'alma, sempre costante t'adorerò.
I'm not showing off. The neighbor.
I'm not showing off, but just to give you an idea, this lady really taught me a lot of stuff. She put a lot of stuff in me. And so when I became famous, I started incorporating everything she taught me into my music, you know.
But Trapped is when it finally clicked that was the right idea. Like you said something, like you heard the instrumental, like all of a sudden these voices come in your head. Like it seems really like a complex storyline. Like you started throwing midgets in it, and it just became its own like how. And you said like a lot of stuff is just in your head. Like how do you make sense of that? Like how does it?
Man, it's the weirdest thing when it comes to Trapped in the Closet. Because when I first started doing the first chapter, just the first chapter, you know, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was actually scared because I didn't have no hook after 3 minutes into the song. And I'm a hook man, you know what I'm saying? The world expects R. Kelly to come with a hook, and I didn't have a hook after 3-some minutes, and I'm approaching 4 minutes, and ain't no hook. So I thought I was losing it, actually. But it was interesting enough for me to say to the record company, they were like, where's the hook? I mean, what's the hook? I was like, shit, that is the hook.
Whatever you want to be.
I said, don't you want to know what happens next? Yeah. I said, that's why it's a hook. I said, I'll see y'all in a week with another one, and I'll come back next week and show you the next one. So I went back and started working on the next one, and came back. I got 2 chapters, and then everybody started wanting to know what's next, and that became the thing. What's next? So it's up to me to say what's next by going in and writing, and it will just continue to come to me. It will continue to come.
And this came from Jay-Z pissing you off.
No. It just came from me being hurt, man. I was like, wow, I got to go to the studio now and do something, shit.
Gonna keep going.
Yeah.
You think you guys could ever reconcile? Some kind of level?
Well, you never. In this business, man, the interesting thing, and why I love this business, why you love this and everybody loves it, you just never know what you're going to see, man. Yeah. It's just, I'm not close to nothing. I've never been close to anything. As long as it's correct, and as long as it come right, and the business is right, and my lights is right, we good. I'm cool with it,
Gotta get the lights right. But obviously, you're on this path of greatness. I wonder a lot with, your peer group, who in your peer group do you consider great, like a Hall of Famer, like people that your peers that you feel like belong in that elite level,
Of today,
Yeah.
Well, I definitely feel like Chris Brown is a super duper star. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. He used to be in the studio. When I was in the studio, he would come to Chicago with Wayne, and Wayne would bring Chris when he was 13 years old. He was in the studio when I was in the studio, and I would lecture him, and we would talk, and I'd listen to him sing, and, give him a few pointers here and there, and he took that to heart, and we've been cool ever since.
I even read somewhere that he said that when you did that demo mixtape with DJ Drama, that inspired him somewhat to make this up.
Yeah, well, that's what's up, But he's a superstar Hall of Famer to me. Rihanna's a Hall of Famer, obviously, hands down. Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. There's a lot of great artists out there, man, that's really they're making their own, they're original. They have their own thing going on, and you can tell they're gonna be around their music gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah, what do you get out of that? You even collaborated with Justin Bieber, like making those type of different things, connecting Bruno Mars, playing different type of festivals. I know you played Pitchfork. What do you get what do you get out of that to almost like people be like, well, maybe these people don't understand R. Kelly, may not understand his catalog, but it seems like you've thrived in terms of reinventing yourself and also connecting to a new audience, new generation.
Well, not to promote it too fast, but my book is called R. Kelly No Lanes. And what that means is I'm not in no lane. The earth is my turf when it comes to this music.
That's a book you putting out?
Yeah.
Another book?
It's R. Kelly No Lanes. And because, you get put in a lane. If you stay in one lane, man, that's just really, really where you're going to go. That one lane going to lead you to one place. Ain't no particular address that I'm going to. Ain't no particular street I want to ride on, And like I say, earth is my turf, man. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
What inspires you with the love songs, even at this point that you make? Do you draw on personal experiences? Where does that come from, do you think?
It comes from personal experiences, man. One personal experience, me lying to my girlfriend for a long time, telling her she's the only one, sneaking around with the other chicks, and this, that, and the other. And then she found out, and she left me, and it broke my heart. And I started writing songs like Turn Back the Hands of Time, and When a Woman's Fed Up, all that shit started coming out of me. And I said, man, I got to keep it real with these girls now, because I can't be telling Marky, I can't tell no girl that I'm with her, and then I ain't got no other girl. I got to keep it real, man. And if they love me for me being who I am and being real, then they can stick around for a very, very, very long time and be best friends with me.
Okay. I mean, how do you? I mean, you're a very religious man. How often do you what do you feel you're connected? Do you go to church a lot? What's your?
Life is church to me, and I say that, and I ain't trying to be deep, but life is church to me, man. And I've been in enough churches. I love going to church because I love when they singing, but I wish they would start going back to singing a lot more, because it's the singing and the music along with the word is that's what's touching people, But now, it's all good. But I've had my experiences in churches. I just see a lot of things go on in church as well as out in the streets, and they're starting to look kind of similar, So I feel like everybody got their God in them, and you can go to God personally and deal with God on a one-on-one basis, you know what I'm saying? And if he pull your heart to a certain church, then you'll follow God. Don't follow no pastor, don't follow no church or whatever. Let God lead you. Hallelujah.
was that your key to dealing with adversity and charges against you and maintaining strength and carrying forward that belief?
No, I believe that the depth of anybody's struggle will determine the height of their success. And I believe that everything that I've gone through in my whole life, people ask me, what would you change? I wouldn't change a thing, because everything that I've gone through has made me who I am today. So I'm sitting here very strong and very confident, and got a lot of love for a lot of people.
So you check the haters, but I guess you build off the strength of the people that still love you. Like obviously this room,
absolutely
still love you.
Absolutely. And I can shut up and say, just as I had many people hating me, I had many people loving me. And let's not forget the hood around the world cuffing me. So those are my favorite words.
So you don't feel in any way that any outside stuff has maybe damaged your legacy in any way?
No, I don't think so. What it has done is no different than Jesus struggled and went through things. Everybody went through their own thing. And people slandered him. I mean, I feel like if Jesus can go what he went through, who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just a guy from the hood, man, that just do this music, but I'm just such a real person. I don't consider myself a celebrity at all. I'm just so real, and I love people that, man, I just flow through this thing, and I let my music, I let God guide me where he got me to go. But God ain't gonna just guide you straight to success, not God. He gonna guide you through a lot of mess first, so that when you get the success, you'll know how to appreciate it, and you'll know how to stay with it, and know how to take care of it. And that's called longevity.
Speaking of longevity, I tried to do you justice before you came out, but you yourself, what do you feel like your impact has been on culture? Like, if you had to summarize, what R. Kelly has meant to music and meant to this business, what do you feel like is the most important points you want people to understand?
Well, I want people to understand, first of all, about R. Kelly, that he's the realest. That's one. He's a real person that don't mind just being real with you. And as far as my music is concerned, I understand the whole R&B King thing, and I really appreciate it. But I do really want people all around the world to accept the fact that I can do anything when it comes to music, and accept it and understand it. Don't get offensive when I write a song like "Marry the Pussy" or "I Wanna."
Even though you say "pussy" 57 times in the song, that's what.
Yeah. I think it is 62 times I say "pussy." No, but no, I just believe in being able to take metaphors, and that's what I love to do. Is I don't even know how I do it, but I love metaphors, and I love subliminal messages and songs and things like that, mixed with comedy and great melody and music mixed with it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that that's what made me who I am, and that's what's keeping me who I am. Not being afraid to go left or right, or thinking about what somebody gonna say if I say you remind me of my Jeep, because actually I got a lot of flack from that when it first came out.
I remember.
Yeah, so I was getting a lot of flack from that, but it is what it is, man. I can't satisfy everybody. I hope that enough people love my music for my legacy to happen.
Yeah. What are some of your, we're at the end of this year, going into next year, long term, I know you make a lot of type of music. What are some of your future goals or things you still want to accomplish?
Well, I'm 6 songs deep into a Christmas album for next year. It's called the 12 Nights of Christmas. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And it's a 12 play. It's gonna be a 12 play Christmas, and that's real. And I'm also 6 songs deep into a country album. And, that I love. Yeah, country. I've always loved country music. Country music tells stories. I tell stories. So it just works.
But you still get with a hip hop artist every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now I appreciate it, Kels. You taking the time, man.
I would like to do this poem for the ladies if I have time.
Let's go, brother.
Let's go. Okay. This poem is called Poetic Sex. And I hope y'all like it. It goes like this. Allow me to paint the picture, your mind being the canvas. I take you spiritually high. Your plane ain't never landing. No navigation locating that spot. When I hit that, you yell out, God, that's the G spot. Sex. that'll bring you close to tears. When I spit it, it's like I popped a molly in your ear. You feel it between your thighs. Your heartbeat starts to rise. Your pupils is dilating. You believe you can fly, man. Niggas can't fuck with me. World in my hand. These niggas can't even hold palm in their hand. Pull up in that bass line, snatch you up with these hits, tie you up with these lyrics. Now you abducted by this shit. A lot of things on your mind. Let me carry them. Get you so wet. Welcome to the aquarium. Murder in every bar. Shit, I'm a barbarian. Who is he? How dare they make a comparison? Up and down on my elevator. See, I'm the type of fella that'll elevate you. Just let that soak in, cause I ain't gonna bathe off in that shit. I'ma soak in. It's poker. And I'm going all in. I got you so open, all I gotta do is fall in. And I turn your man to Aaron Hall. My lyrics got a big dick and I just fuck the shit out of y'all.
Yeah. Aaron Hall, right? Ladies and gentlemen, R. Kelly. Thank you. Kels, how'd you feel?
I felt real good, man, out there, man. It was like, you know, the adrenaline, even though there was no singing going on, but it was the adrenaline of the whole interview, man, was crazy. You made me feel like I was at the crib, so it was all good. And the set and the scenery was off the chain, too.
Told some amazing stories, man. Like,
yeah.
Pac, Biggie, like.
Oh yeah, I think people need to hear the story behind the success. You know, it's very important because they'll be able to appreciate it. You know, because they know they'll hear the testimony. You know, not just hearing all of the Hollywood and the champagne and the celebration of it, but what it took to get here.
Thank you, Kels.
Man, appreciate it, dog. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed it, dog.
Thank you, bro.
All right.
Crown.
Yeah. Black panties, baby.
Thank
Dropped.
You.